One of mankind's earliest and most handy discoveries is leather. In ancient times, man would try to utilize whatever material he could find. Thus, leather was found to be quite functional and was used in clothing, shelter, and also upholstery. The first ever documented uses of leather in furniture are the leather chairs, dating back to 3100 to 2686 BC in Egypt. Over time, techniques have developed and the uses as well. Consequently, leather evolved from being used as a common daily material into luxury for wealthy hobbies and royalty. Today, with VEE Gallery, we shall step into the fascinating world of leather and discover what makes it by far the most sought-after quality material for furniture, while we find out what the difference is between high-quality and low-quality leather, and get to learn how to select our leather seats. So Mary, in our previous conversations, you've hinted on just how much you love leather.
Indeed, I'm a leather person, especially high quality leather.
Now, speaking of high quality leather, what are the different types and grades of leather, and how do I identify and say, you know, this is good quality leather and this is not?
This is New York, and it's one of the brand new collection we've just received recently at VEE. So yes, it is important to us to explain the different kinds of leather. You know, we've had a lot of clients who would come and they have misunderstood leather so much. They would be like, yeah, but I've had leather and it's cracked open, or after some time, you know, it doesn't adjust to the room temperature when it's cold, you know, it's always cold, it doesn't adjust. So which means that those people have they've either bought low quality leather or not leather, synthetic leather. I will explain the different kinds of leather that are there. Now, the hide of the cow is usually quite thick. So what they do, they slice it into 3 parts. The higher part, that is the highest quality of leather. It is breathable, it is more durable, and this is what you see, for instance, here. This is high top quality leather. Then the lower part, the middle part, is the split grain leather, which is not as soft and it's not as breathable. So it's usually lower in price. Now then, the lower part, the most lower part, is the bonded leather. Now bonded leather, what they do with it, because it's usually not as soft, they glue them all together, they grain them and they glue them together in order to create something that resembles the leather. And this is what usually is in the market and the lowest prices you can find. Now, this one, for instance, doesn't adjust. How do you identify it? First of all, it's not, when you're touching it, it's not as soft. And you know, when you sit on it and it's hot, you stick to it. Leather shouldn't, good quality leather, when it's hot, you know, and you sit on it, you shouldn't stick to it. So that means it's not leather, not the top grain, the full grain, the high quality leather. This is one of the characteristics. But why people opt for it? It's because it's budget friendly. It's the lowest in price. You can find a huge difference between top full quality, full grain leather and the bonded leather. Now, the split grain leather, what they usually do with it, you know, we would find many times clients would come and they would ask us, yes, but are the sides also leather? Why? Because what they usually do, manufacturers, they put top grain leather at the seats, but the back and the sides are usually split grain in order for them to reduce a bit on the cost. But on the long run, it will not last. You will see the difference, you will see there's a different texture. For us here at VEE Gallery, we strictly bring high quality, full grain or top grain leather, which we're going to be talking about later on.
Well, speaking about that, Mary, for someone who's not better positioned to understand what good quality leather is and what is not, apart from what you've just mentioned, you know, using different grades on a single sofa set, how can someone tell that this is not a good quality leather sofa set?
Okay, I'm going to explain the other way around. I'm going to tell you how to identify a high quality leather. There are two things to consider. First of all, it's the dye. That's the way the leather has been dyed to have a particular color, such as over here, for instance, we have different kinds of leather with different colors. I'm picking the red one over here, for instance. You see, when you see that the top, the front, and the back have the same color, it means that this one has been properly dyed, and that even if it scratches or whatever, it will not change in color. Whatever you see over here, we have even the brown ones, be it the yellow ones, the blue. We have the Bordeaux one over here, for instance. Again, you would see that the dye has been.
So the dye should be the same.
It should. This means that it's higher quality leather. You know, sometimes you find, okay, a top grain leather, but the front is one color and then the back is totally different color. So which means that even if it scratches or what, it's going to change color. It's not as high in quality. Now, another thing to check is the texture of the leather. There are two kinds for the texture. We have the oil look and the natural look. Now, for the natural look, such as New York over here has a natural look, whereby you can even see, for instance, if the cow has had an incident, you can see the impurities, you can see some scratches here and there. This is to show you that the cow has had an accident and this has remained. This is one of, it means that it's really high quality. And then we have the oil look, which is something like this one. You would see what they did, they had it to be continuous in texture. Okay? This is what you see even here, it's continuous in texture. So those two also mean that those are high quality leathers. The rest are not as high in quality. And this is why it's really crucial for you. Now, when someone is buying a sofa and they would be like, yeah, but Mary, what is the difference in the prices? Because you know, this, when it's in a lower grade, it's going to be automatically less expensive. When it's in higher grade, but this already means that this piece of furniture is going to last you a lifetime. It's not going to crack, it's not going to give you trouble. It's even if you have pets, if you have kids, you know, you poured something, you can just clean it away. With time, high quality leather ages perfectly well.
Let's speak about maintenance now. How do you maintain a gorgeous sofa set like this one here? How do you clean it, for example?
It's quite easy. Leather is easy to maintain. You just dust them off, and that's it. Now only with a wet cloth you can do, with a dry cloth even, it's even just to remove them. Now the only issue is if you have pen traces, we have a particular liquid. You just wipe it and then wait for it for a minute or two and then remove it. But it has to be within a short period of time. That's the only issue with leather. But otherwise, leather can last you a lifetime. And one more very important thing, if you have a leather which is not convenient, you know, meaning that if you're sweating and you stick to it, that's not high quality, that's not good quality leather. A good quality leather is a leather that breathes. It allows you to, it accommodates depending on the room temperature that you have. If it's cold, it's very nice for you to be seated on. When it's hot, it's also, it gives you a cool feel rather than sticking to it. This is how you identify.
So Mary, if you were to sum it up for someone who's thinking of, you know, coming to VEE and buying a leather sofa set, if you were to just sum it up in just a few words, why someone should choose leather and not the other?
Everything which is expensive, quality, high quality is cheap. Because on the long run, instead of buying an item which will deteriorate in 5 years or in 6 years or in even 10 years. A furniture piece should not deteriorate in 10 years. This is something that's made to, as we said previously, this is where memories are made, family milestones are created there. This is something that should last you over a long period of time. You have to buy quality items. Quality saves you from a lot of trouble in the future.
If someone really wants a sofa set in a brighter color, can they still find it?
This is very important. Thank you, Sandra, for mentioning it. You know, we have all the items you see are custom selected, meaning that we asked for New York in this particular leather, in this finishing, which is over here. So what we do, we really emphasize on exclusivity. This is the one. That's the exact same leather that we are using. This is grade 7 leather. Now, what we do, if a client comes and they like New York per se, next time we are placing our orders, they can just ask for any other finishing they are looking for. Because once you see this, next time we will not repeat it in the same finishing. So that whoever is buying New York in this finishing will exclusively have it theirs in Uganda.
Well, now Mary, you know, when we start speaking about leather, the concern is usually about the weather and how hot it can really get. If you're probably seated on a leather sofa set or even wearing one. So does the good quality leather sofa set sort of blend in when it gets hot?
Exactly. This is why when you have high quality leather, when it's hot, it will give you a cool feel. It will cool you down. But when it's cold, it will give you more warmth. It adjusts to the room temperature. When it's high quality, full grain or top grain leather. But when it's bonded leather, it will not. When it's hot, you're going to sit on it and you're going to feel sticky and you're going to hate it. This is why many people say, no, I don't want leather. The issue is they don't understand leather. The issue is not that leather, you know, that all the leather is the same. No, high quality leather is not the same.
Well, Mary, the leather set itself is gorgeous by itself, but you know, it wouldn't hurt to accessorize it in a way. How do you go about accessorizing a sofa set?
It's quite easy, just like you accessorize any other sofa set. The thing is, each item accessorizing all depends on the individual. What matters to us? This is here, for instance, we have accessorized it with a black and brown feel. It's looking really awesome with the Futura in leather, in black leather, which is also similar to the same type of leather, the Anilina leather we have over here. So this is how we have just organized and done this. But if someone else wants to add a pop of color, Futura, for instance, because Futura is right here, is available in different tonalities, different leathers they can choose from. So it depends on the client, on the character of the person, of what they like, what they don't like. So this is why we are open and giving instructions on depending on the person.
Thank you so much, Mary. While we go through different kinds of the high quality leathers available at VEE Gallery, we cannot but mention the highest in quality, and that is Nepal leather. The most notable use of Nepal leather, apart from furniture, is its use in luxury cars, thanks to its ultra-soft feel, breathable texture, and a long-lasting lifespan. But what makes it this soft and highlights its qualities? Well, it is actually because Nepal leather is mainly derived from calves, lumps, and kid goats, which all have softer hide than the adults of the species. Over here, we see the brand new gorgeous Valentino set that just landed this week at VEE. We notice that the 3-seater and 2-seater sofas are made of a rich cream color, Nepal leather, which gives it a tremendously classy feel. complemented with breathtaking Anilina leather armchairs in a sumptuous burgundy color. The combination is absolutely magnificent. Nothing compares to high-quality items with the right combination of colors and textures. This is one gorgeous set.
It is.
The style, we've seen it forever. What makes it outstanding?
Indeed, this is the Chesterfield design. Now, the Chesterfield design first appeared in the 1700s. This is when people had the techniques of the usage of the leather had been developed. They started the buttons, buttoning them. They started quilting them, and the tufting. So this is when the Chesterfield, the most famous Chesterfield designs, sofa sets, have initiated. Now, one thing about the Chesterfield, many people would come and they would, realize that this one is usually much more expensive than the regular sets. Why? Because in order for the craftsman to be able to do the finishing exquisitely and very refinedly, they have to take up much more leather. It takes much more details, and you can see the craftsmanship details all around, and it takes up much more leather. If a regular seat, let's say, takes up 2 meters of leather, this one might take up 4 or 5, for instance. But what makes it also a bit more expensive is the craftsmanship, the details you can see, because this is all handmade.
Yeah.
And you would see the uniqueness in each piece.
Interesting. Let's talk about how to implement it into our interior. For most, places where we find these seats, we find them in offices. Can one incorporate them in the interior at home?
Of course. Again, design is what you make of it, but you have to, of course, follow a nice setup plan, and you need at least a designer to guide you through.
Yeah.
But yes, now this one, these bergères over here, we have opted for them with wheels and wooden base, but they can also work in our main living rooms to complement the sofa sets that we have. You can have an office of one-on-one, a nice reading corner, for instance, or it can be your accent chair with your main sofa set.
Well, looking at this entire set, it's perfectly complementing each other. From the wallpaper, the accessories all around it are perfect. What are the tricks that one can incorporate to get a perfect set?
Now, what they can do is just, again, it has to be, these are very unique items, but the items they have to complement, have to put them in value. You cannot just put them with any set and expect them to shine. Here, for instance, the wallpaper behind with the coffee table and all the accessories are enhancing their majestic feel. This is why one has to be careful what to blend with what.
Now, Mary, the other day I was with some friends, and the concern was sometimes, you have some pressing issues that you feel you need to attend to fast. But again, you want to have a taste of this exclusive product that VEE gives. Is there something that can be done for those that would like to have these products, just not yet?
Indeed. What you're telling me is something we have really faced, and we were discussing recently about this. Many people would come, they are building, and they have pressing engagements, but they like a particular item. And just like you said, once an item is there, the next day it might not be here. We do not repeat it, and especially not in the same finishes. So we've had many clients who would go away, then come back and not find the item they like the most. And what they would do, they would like something else, but they would still compare it to the initial one. So what we can do, we are offering customized payment plans to such clients. especially expats, for instance. We have a lot of expats who are building their houses or who have bought some apartments which are under construction, but would like to get a really unique, you know, they're working the whole year to come back home to a house, to a home they really enjoy being at. This is their retirement home or their family home back in Uganda. So what we are doing, we are offering customized payment plans. We are taking in consideration that such people have pressing engagements, and so that by the time they are done or they are ready, we will be discussing, of course, with each client their means and their conditions, so that we come up with a solution that suits them and suits us.
Indeed, a solution that suits you and also suits them. Fantastic. And I think for those that are constantly worried about missing out on a good product, now we'll have a chance to still have it, but in a timing that is perfect for them.
Exactly. Because, you know, when you like something, it's not every day that it hits you.
Absolutely.
It's only, you know, one or twice. And this is the beauty of the kind of furniture that we have.
Yeah.
Luxury furniture is not, you know, it's something you find every day. It's not something, okay, I can wait on this. This is something which is, you find it, you like it, it has connected with you once, so you might not find that same click next time.
Fantastic. So this is so good news for each one of you that would like to actually have a test of the quality pieces that we see here at VEE. All you have to do is come to VEE and get your own customized payment plan that will be made just for you.